Good morning. Welcome to Brewing Happiness. We are starting without a introduction today because I'm still working out copyright issues. I guess I'm going to have to get my own song. But welcome to Magic Monday. Magic Monday, where we try to talk about a little bit of magic in the world, and I have a little magic for you today. So we're going to talk about your heart today. Your heart, and a study I found that showed kind of like Dr. Emoto, and we talked about earlier with Dr. Emoto's study of water and the effects of love and hate and words and emotions on the crystals of water. This was a study similar in nature in that there was a physical and measurable output from what we would consider to be a invisible or some people might say made up kind of energy, right? So I want to talk about this study. The symbol of our heart, the heart, right? We always have the heart symbol. The symbol of the heart is, universal. Everybody uses it. You can't watch a video today without kids putting their hands up and we make a heart. So that symbol of that shape, right? That heart symbolizes our heart beating in our chest. And it has long been considered the center of love. Good morning, Marianne. Thank you so much. Now, think Care Bears, right? I'm thinking of the Care Bears where you know, the heart, everything beams out of their chest, right? Well, we think this was a symbolic representation, a cartoon, something to help us visualize something that happens in the invisible world. But in the study we're going to talk about today, we will see excuse me, some truths. We're going to see, good morning, Debbie. In the study we're going to talk about today, we're going to see some physical evidence of our heart and our love. So again, I'm comparing this to Dr. Emoto with the water, even though it's not exactly the same. This study was scientifically controlled, and I'm going to post all the details in the thing, just because I'm not going to read you all of the science, right? This was done by German researchers at the University of Kassel, and it was shown, well, actually, I'm going to read it to you in a minute what it was all about. But it was scientifically controlled, and I'm going to read the summary just because it was so good. There's just no reason for me to rewrite it, right? So a scientifically controlled study conducted by the German researchers at the University of Kassel has shown that while the chest area of an average person emits only 20 photons of light, 20 photons of light per second, that someone who meditates on their heart center and sends love and light to others emits an amazing 100,000 photons per second. This is 5,000 times more than the average human being. Okay, so this is significant and measurable. Now, numerous studies have also shown that when these photons are infused with love and intent, getting specific, right? As we get in specific, the frequency and vibration increases to the point where they can literally change matter, heal disease, and transform negative events. So, powerful stuff. The heart loves, feels, thinks, remembers, and communicates with others, according to this study. With other hearts, communicates with other hearts. It stores information and continually, with each beat, pulses this information through your body. Remember, your body is your mind. Your body is the representation of your subconscious mind. Everything your mind knows, every cell of your body knows. It's also a pump. That it's far more than what modern science would have us believe, right? That it's just a pump, pumping blood through our system. It is a pump, but it pumps the cellular symphony, it's called. That is the very essence of your being. It's magnetic and radiating vortex, and the true source of human power. So think of your heart. Everything's radiating around the heart. All right. So a few detail about the study. The subjects were measured using super scientific equipment. Again, I will post it so you can read all about the actual equipment they used. I'm not going to talk about it because I can't pronounce it. But it was called a photomultiplier tube. Anyway, they used a dark chamber completely lined with light absorbing black cloth. So there were fewer than 20 photons to measure in the empty room. In fact, the subject had to be naked because our body, we pick up light, ambient light from all around us. And so our clothes are reflecting fluorescence and sparks. So they had to be naked. And then they had to enter the chamber, but it was cold, so they were wrapped in a black blanket. Although I will say that they did the study with the blanket and without it and found out that the results did not vary. But they wanted the guy to be warm, right? Who's hard to love when you're freezing. And then they had to wait an hour to start because like I said, we hold light in our body. We hold light so that they had to wait an hour for it to dissipate, just the light you accumulated. Think of a glow in the dark thing, right? You hold it up to the light, and when you walk in the dark, it's picked up some light. And then after a while, that starts to dissipate. So they waited an hour for that dissipation of the outward lights. And then they started meditating. All right. And then so here's one guy in the chamber. He's meditating, and one guy outside. We got a microphone, right? And they're communicating, but he's recording these photons. So the first time they did it, they used the Kundalini idea. As in Kundalini meditations, energy is drawn from up your spine using a strong inhalation, right? You breathe up, and they call it the Kundalini snake rises. What do they say? Everyone wants the snake to rise, but nobody wants to do the work because it is work to get the breathing work, right? Then the breath is held with intention placed above your crown. And then exhalation. It's full and complete, forcing energy down from above the crown, down the spine, toward the heart, and then out the heart. So the light comes in, goes down your spine, but when it gets to the heart, it doesn't go down to your tailbone. It comes to the heart, float out the heart. Okay. Extremely energetic. It results in feelings of ecstasy and radiance. That is in the study. The word ecstasy and radiance in the study. You get feelings of ecstasy and radiance from performing this meditation. So whether you're in a photo study or not, this might be something interesting to try, right? They used invocations of divine light. So they used Sufi meditations, chanting, and they used vibrations that actually stimulate the third eye and the heart chakra. Arabic words, Nur and Munawir, wish I could pronounce those better, spoken slowly with emphasis on the vowels to resonate in the throat and the chest. And it produces the result of feeling like a mini sun in your chest, right? And then they repeated the phrase, La ilaha illallah hu. It's an ancient prescription for entering the consciousness of the one and only being. Perform with attention to the heart as the center of experience and results in a feeling of complete heart-centeredness. This all sounds fantastic, right? So they did this the first day. They focused on a heart-centered meditation. They used ancient words to make sure that they were stimulating that heart chakra and the third eye. And they went in the chamber the first day and started doing the test, and they got results of 37,000 to 45,000 photons. Now, remember, regular person, 20 photons, right? What did we say? Let's go back and look. What did I say originally? 20 photons of light per second in just somebody walking around not thinking about this stuff, right? So they got to 37 to 45,000. It is for 10 hours. And it was a little inconsistent, but they did get outputs of 37 to 45. So they stopped their session and went home for dinner. Well, it turns out, apparently they knew each other. Turns out that the recorder, the other part of the partnership, had a son who all of a sudden had developed a severe cold. So the next day, they went back to the chamber, and this time the subject, the meditator, focused on this boy. He focused on him as if you were sitting right in front of him, and he imagined sending light from his heart to the boy. And he used a technique called the heart rhythm meditation. Now, compared to the complex meditation, the intense meditation of the day before, of the first day of the experiment, this was really simple. It's all outlined in a book called the Heart Rhythm meditation or something like that. We're going to find that book now, to find that book. But he sent the light to the boy on his exhalation, right? So he still followed everything that he did before. Still following, he's still using the chanting to get into the mode, to enter the consciousness. So this wasn't just he sat down and started, beaming from his chest, right? There's a little prep work. He did breathing. He chanted. He opened up and stimulated his heart chakra and his third eye chakra. So he was in the right mental state. Let's not, miss a step. But on the second day, he focused on this boy and sending light. And this effort was more emotional, right, than it had been the day before, than mental. And pretty simple in comparison to how intense the day before had been, right? So this time, when the boy was in front of him and he was focusing on a specific outcome to a specific person, they measured 100,000 photons per second. Consistently, significantly, for the entire length of the meditation. Now, let's understand this. 100,000 photons is enough light to be barely visible to the naked eye in a dark room, right? Now, they say 1,000 photons is enough. Your eye can, if you're in a dark room and something with just 1,000 photons is enough to get a flicker of your eye to go, whoa, what was that, right? But at 100,000, you can see a visible light with your naked eye. Now, just for comparison, a fluorescent watch. The experimenter took and covered his fluorescent watch, right, and let that light go into the room, and that registered at 1,000,000 photons per second. Like that was like you could read through that light. That looked like the sunburst compared to how dark we're talking in this room. So, some conclusions. After some adjustments, after doing the experiment, they figured it out, and the light measurement coming from his chest, from his heart, as he meditated, as he connected, as he breathed, as he imagined sending love and light and healing to a specific person. The light generation was significant, consistent, and measurable. Now, in scientific studies, right, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're saying is there is physical evidence of that concentration, of that prayer, of that chanting, of that stimulation of chakras, of that intent. And then not only is it present and observable to the naked eye, it's measurable. It's repeatable. Honey, that is scientific proof, right? So now there's a book called The Heart Rhythm Meditation, and they detail exactly the meditation that he used, although I am not convinced that I don't know enough after reading this study to duplicate this test. I did it myself and found out I did get a warm feeling in my chest. I did this now. I was sitting in the sun, so I'm kind of always nervous about jumping to conclusions. So I'm going to be doing it again. But I wanted to bring this today because I thought it was so fantastical. So I found out that it was really interesting to me. So this study I found it posted on a Facebook post. It was a single Facebook post. And in fact, I posted it on my site, but it also included a link to the actual study, which I read cover to cover, by the way, reading the study, so you don't have to. And anyway, what I found to be fantastically impactful to me was the fact that they found out that without healing intention, right, without just putting good vibes out into the world, love in the world, yeah, you can get some action, right? You got some action. There's no doubt that there wasn't a significant difference between 20 and 40,000, right? I'm going to say yes, action is happening. but that when they added the additional piece of a specific intent at a specific person, the output more than doubled. So, what does this tell us? It tells me that prayer is real. Meditation works. Meditation has now there are tons of studies out there that show the benefits of meditation to your physical self, to your mental self, to your spiritual self, right? We can go on all day long about the goodness of meditation for you, and that the journey that we're all on is actually found in here, not out there. And until we start meditating and journey in here, we never can get past our worldly confines, our worldly, the things that tie us here to the earth. Okay, but that meditation is all about you. This proves that that meditation that you're doing, that all those things that you're doing are bigger than you, that they go beyond you, that they are big enough to... Now, what they didn't study was, did the kid get better, right? What happened at the other end of that healing? And that's another study for another day. But this has led me, excuse me. Sometimes I like to tuck my feet and sit cross-legged when my feet get cold, and I wiggle around a little bit. Anyway, this tells me that show me. I'm from Missouri. I always got to go back to that show me mentality, right? I want to believe, I want to trust, but I also like a little science in the back just to give me some feelings that I'm headed in the right path. Just to add a little bit. I want to see the complete picture, right? I want my mind, my body. I want my mind and my spirit and my body all in conjunction. I want to know from every aspect that it works. So what happens? I read something, I look for scientific experiment, and then I test it on myself to see if I get the results that everybody else got. Kind of my personal scientific method, right? My personal way of checking things. So this has made me want to, check this out more. I am new to meditation. I am utilizing mostly guided meditations and a little bit go on my own, but so much chatter, so much trouble focusing and staying focused and staying quiet. This has given me new hope. Honestly, when I did this meditation, I did stay focused because I was focused on a specific person. It was easier to stay focused, right? It was easier for me. The meditation was stronger and more powerful, and I felt it in my chest stronger when I added the person. Because I did it both ways. I followed the experiment, right? I just did it. Now, I don't have a photon multiplier tube measurer or whatever that stuff was that they used. I didn't have that. I'm just going by how warm my chest felt, how expansive, how at peace I felt, right? And I don't know if the person I prayed for, it helped them, because I prayed for someone who doesn't speak to me too much. But that's not important. The importance to me is, and I hope to you, is that we live in an amazing time, because in our time, science is beginning to prove and to give us physical proof and backup that things that have been known for centuries, that the ancients knew, that developed things like Kundalini yoga and the Sufi chants, and the things that truly help us bridge our two worlds, our internal world and our external world, right? That those are truly tools that do work and do help. And now we show that meditation has physical outcome. And all this tells me is that our thoughts are things, that our thoughts and our intentions have physical reality, physical energy that makes physical impact in a physical world. You're an alchemist, right? You've taken nothing but intention and thought and love and turned it into energy that goes out into the world and improves it. This is exciting stuff. I don't know about you. What do you think, Debbie? I think this is exciting stuff. Maybe I'm just a geek getting off on a silly scientific experiment. I don't know. Anyway, that's our show for today. Wanted to talk. Oh, wait. No. I did want to share the visual that goes with this. Hold on one second. There we go. And let's see if we can put this into a presentation mode. Ha. Okay, here we see. I love this little quantum DNA evolution. This is just showing what's happening to you as you activate your heart. Okay, so love and there no explanation came with this graphic. I am totally making things up here, but I loved it. And I thought it helps me. I'm visual. I love this picture. I love I don't know if you can the blue picture. I love the picture of the blue light and the circles and the colors and the vibrant neon colors coming out and flashing around you. Now, tomorrow, let's stop sharing our screen here. Hold on. There we go. Now, tomorrow is a good day because tomorrow I will be doing a book review of a book called Power versus Force that was recommended to me by my friend Joanne Brown. And it came on a chat of our discussion of intuition and truth. And it's again a mind-blowing book. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But one of the things that came out of that book at the very end, I finished it finally last night, and I came to the very end, and I was reading some of the support documentation, I guess, in the very back of the book. And in this book, it's about scientific studies that actually measure and calibrate truth. And blind blowing. It's going to take a whole hour to discuss this. But in the end, he gives us some statistics about how enlightened minds that truly live in a place of love and forgiveness, that have kind of learned how to let go of the gravity of earthly weights, right? Who truly live in this enlightened state, make up for those that don't. That the balance is, I'm going to read it all tomorrow. I don't remember the numbers, but it was an incredibly disproportionate balance that one enlightened person vibrating at a certain level could counterbalance thousands, tens of thousands of beings vibrating at the lower level. Excuse me. And so this is proof. This is the idea, or not proof, but this idea is, I didn't mean proof, I meant incentive. Why should you be enlightened? Because the work of the enlightened is to send positive energy into the earth. Today in this world, there's a lot of negative energy. There's a lot of negative energy on TV, and yet there is a powerful awakening. There was a powerful awakening happening as more and more people begin to understand the truthfulness of life and the falseness of the world we live in, right? The dichotomy of living in a world that may just be a hologram. Anyway, now I'm getting off subject and I'm talking about subjects far over my pay grade, but tomorrow's book review, don't miss it. It's going to be awesome. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to explain the impacts of this book well enough. I'm afraid I'm not going to. This is my fear. I'm going to work on this tonight. How can I take this huge book that I've read, that's the culmination of Dr. Hawkins' lifelong work, that could literally change the entire world, and condense it into 30 minutes? So that's my challenge for tomorrow, but it's worth it. And I'm hoping to at least bring enough to make you want to read it, because I don't know about you. It was changing for me. So that's our show for today. Think about the light study when you sit down to do your meditation and prayer. Pull it into your heart. Remember, see that your heart is, yes, it's a pump that pumps your blood around your body, but it also is pumping that love that you're feeling, those intentions that you're bringing through every cell in your body. And think of it as a little transformer, right? Your own little electrical transformer that is creating light. You are such a powerful being connected to the divine. You and your ability to conceptualize something, have intent for it, bring the energy that is you, your being, your life force, your thoughts, and to turn that idea, that thing you heard about on my show today, or read in a study, or saw on Facebook, to turn that into world-changing, life-changing, life-affirming, positive intent that can literally produce light. So intense, literally produces light. I'm going to make the jump. If it produces light, other good stuff is going on. So that's our show for today. Join me tomorrow for our book review of Power versus Force. And until tomorrow, make it a happy day.